Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Shivani Wazir Pasrich, and I'd like to welcome you all to the Iconic Awards 2023. This is indeed iconic because, as you know, Redhat has been doing this for 5 editions, but for the last 3 years, I wonder why, but there was a pause. Well, during those last 3 years, I must say that the enthusiasm in the industry, despite the upheavals that came along, has not been dampened. And whatever happened, the industry not only managed to take on the challenges, but today they are way ahead of where things were pre-pandemic. So ladies and gentlemen, here Redhat is back once again with a tie-up with TV9 network, and together they bring to you the Iconic Awards 2023. Not only are these awards recognition for people in the hospitality, tourism, travel and luxury markets, but also for people who've contributed to the nation at large. So ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I'd like to say, let's take a look at what lies ahead and how Jyoti Mayal is not just bright and brilliant in her wonderful emerald green sari with her lovely red bindi, but just like the bindi is iconic of her, these awards are iconic of excellence, achievement, and aspiration.
When the world is battling turbulence, India is shining as a bright spot. A buoyant Bharat now means business. Business not as usual. Because India's journey to 2047 will deserve more. Our trudge turning into confident strides towards Amrit Kal. Leading this charge are icons of global Bharat. From travel, tourism, hospitality, fashion, style, luxury and beyond. As they voyage into new frontiers. It's that time of the year to raise a toast to the very best of them. Welcome to an evening full of glitz and gravitas. Presenting Iconic Awards, an initiative by Redhat Communications and TV9 Network, India's #1 news network.
So this morning was wonderful discussions about technology and tourism. It was about G20 and the incredible India impetus that it's going to generate. And then, of course, there was so much more. And we were also talking about tourism in mission mode. Well, tourism cannot be in mission mode without the contribution of all of you drivers of the industry. And one such driver who is absolutely incredible is Jyoti Mayal. Not only is she the president of the Tourism Authority, the Travel Agents Association of India, but she is also the iconic person who set up the Iconic Awards. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask Jyoti Mayal to do the welcome address.
Thank you so much, Shivani, for those beautiful words. As beautiful as you are. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's such a pleasure to see a house full and early in the evening. So when the famous Irish playwright and poet Oscar Wilde said, "Let me be surrounded by luxury, I can do with the necessities," he must be referring to travel, at least in the world post the pandemic. Travel has become that luxury which many would like to trade for their necessity today. On this note, a very warm welcome to Iconic 2023 on a pleasant March evening in Delhi. A humble Ayobhavan once again to the Honorable Harin Fernando, the Minister of Tourism of Sri Lanka, who has come all the way from his country to spend an entire day with us. He spent the entire day in the morning and he's here again. A man I see fully committed in heart and soul to tourism and Sri Lanka. His openness and indulgence in promotion of tourism makes me speechless. I'm honored to welcome the guest of honors, ambassadors, high commissioners, charge d'affaires, present and former government chairs, the iconic jury, my friends, speakers, esteemed guests, who are all a part of my extended family and very close to my heart. So what a lovely friendship that's what life is all about. I need to now welcome a very special friend, a man who's always available to connect, discuss, and listen. And I say that not only on my behalf, but with the strong sentiments of the industry. For me, he's someone I have utmost confidence to converse with and take many suggestions. A vibrant personality who's always relaxed with a smile on his face. Arvind Singh, Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. I thank you so much, wholeheartedly, for gracing us with your presence today at the 5th Iconic 2023. Travel, tourism, hospitality, lifestyle, luxury, and beyond. Brought to you by Redhat Communications and TV9, an evening where we promote luxury, experiential tourism, and celebrate icons, and you certainly are one. Redhat and TV9 feels privileged to host such an esteemed gathering after a 3-year hiatus caused by the pandemic. Each of you is a testimony to India's travel industry's resilience, and I'm proud to be a part of an industry that brings people's dreams to life. After more than 3 decades in the travel industry, I conceived the Iconic Awards to fill a gap in the landscape. From the beginning, we have been overwhelmed by the travel and hospitality fraternity's support and encouragement. Iconic has established itself as a meaningful and distinguished platform for exchanging ideas, recognizing icons, and celebrating them continuously. Once an icon, always an icon. We have witnessed the travel industry's transformation over the years, especially during the pandemic, which has been a huge learning experience. The pace of this transformation is more rapid than ever. In the past few years, new industries have appeared and contributed to the evolution, skill development, and growth of the travel industry. Iconic aims to explore these connections and understand their positive impact on the industry's growth. We seek to recognize these various contributions and create a platform where we can all learn from them. Indians have embraced luxury experiences, and checking into a luxury hotel is now passé. The well-traveled Indian with deep pockets is looking for bespoke experiences and is willing to pay handsomely for them. Discerning Indians are seeking out luxury experiences that cater to their every desire, such as sundowners with top-quality wines at a riverbank, staying in a super luxury tree house in a wildlife reserve, staying in a house of the erstwhile Maharaja, going on a picnic in a fort, or climbing a mountain and strolling down the valley of flowers hand in hand with loved ones. Luxury experiences are here to stay, and people like you are making it happen. There is no better time than now to motivate and acknowledge the role of these talented individuals. Can we please have a round of applause, a big round of applause, for the award winners to be announced in advance, and even a bigger round for the entire fraternity that is fueling unprecedented growth and motivating people to travel. In its 5th edition, in the world post-pandemic, Iconic has expanded its horizons to acknowledge and recognize people and companies from various sectors that have made lasting and indelible contributions to the world of travel and tourism, hospitality, luxury, and of course beyond. From the world of fashion to history, and from art to adventure, Iconic 2023 has recognized efforts in elevating Indian tourism to international standards of luxury. As Lewis Carroll wrote in Alice in Wonderland, actually the best gift you could have given her was a lifetime of adventures. I don't know if you remember that from school time. Today, as part of the travel industry, we possess the magic wand that enables people to go on trips to the fantasy lands. Therefore, let us celebrate life, professions, companies, and ourselves today, and mark an era of resilience, strength, and bountiful opportunities. On this note, let me once again extend a very warm welcome to you, all on behalf of myself, my husband Balbir Singh Mayal, who's the advisor of Redhat Communications, who's always stood beside me and my indulgences. as besides sharing much more, we also share the passion of travel and tourism. Enjoy your evening as much as Balbir and I will enjoy your presence. Thank you for being here. Thank you, TV9, for this beautiful partnership. With a special thanks to Raktim, Prasanna, the entire team, and the esteemed jury, the iconic jury. Without them, this would not have been possible. All partners, ET Travel World, Outlook, Media, and many others who believed in us. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. I would also like to appreciate Redhat team who faced the brunt of my mood swings demanding perfection. Deepika, Gunjan, Priyanka, and a special advisor, a friend called Abha. A simple word from my heart. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Jyoti. Jyoti mentioned how Balbir has always been by her side, but the fact that this room is full of some of the most eminent people in the industry is because Jyoti is one of those people you can count on. And whatever, whether it's a celebration or an endeavor, she is there to shoulder the way forward along with all her friends from the industry. And we're delighted to have all of you here with us today to just appreciate what kind of commitment and spirit of togetherness there is. So to Jyoti and her team of advisors, Abha and the whole lot here, congratulations on yet another iconic awards. I'd like to invite the Secretary Tourism, Shri Arvind Singh ji, to please say a few words. It really is iconic what you've done. Dekho Apna Desh, the destinations that have been created, the kind of spend that there is to increase the infrastructure, whether it's airlines or hotels, the magnitude at which this expansion is going. Well, I could go on and on, but it's time for you to take over. So please.
Thank you, Shivani. And thank you, Jyoti, for your very kind words. Today's event is a testimony not only to your organizational skills, but also your personal qualities, which all of us are aware of. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to speak here, the privilege to speak in front of two of my former bosses and a former colleague. So, Mr. Duggal, who was my boss in the Commerce Ministry, Madam Deepa Gopalan Wadhwa, who was my boss in the embassy in Tokyo, the only and best lady boss I've ever had in my life. And, of course, Mr. Lohani, who was working as CMD Air India when I was in the Airports Authority of India, Mr. Anil Wadhwa, who's like my elder brother, and all friends and colleagues from college who I see here, from the travel fraternity, from industry, who are here today. So thank you, Jyoti, for giving me this opportunity. I had a prepared speech, but seeing the mood, I said, a prepared speech would be passé. So let me, take you back to the last 2 years. Of course, we have mentioned the pandemic and its impact. Many of you have been through that. I have been through that. January 21, when I joined as Secretary Tourism, the mood was one of gloom. Everybody was pessimistic about the outlook of how things would happen, and because the sector had been hit very bad. We did a study by NCAR, the National Council of Applied Economic Research, which showed that the amount of job losses that had happened were huge. I will not give you the figures. The amount of revenue losses that had happened, and the dismay and despair that was writ large on everyone's face was a reflection of the impact that it had on the industry. So 2021 to 20, they were very bad years. Then the virus started behaving, sometimes ebbing, sometimes rising itself, and the sector responded similarly. But the net, what the impact that we see this year, if we compare the figures that we have in 2022 calendar year with the figures of footfalls in 2019, what we see is tremendous growth in as far as domestic travel is concerned. People have really come out in large numbers to travel. I'm not going into the reasons, but the numbers are, there for all of us to see. Some statistics that I'll share with you, say Jammu and Kashmir, the state of Jammu and Kashmir has witnessed the highest ever footfall since independence in the 1975 years of our independence. That's a huge, and that's a big statement given the the nature of that state and the history that we have had. Secondly, certain places where destinations, which Shivani mentioned about infrastructure, where infrastructure has been created, we saw a tremendous growth in footfalls. And mind you, all this fueled by domestic tourists. If you take the numbers in Varanasi, if you compare the numbers of 2019 and the numbers of 2022, there is a 10x rise. The footfalls of domestic visitors was about 70 to 80 lakhs in 2019. It is 7 crores plus in 2022. And that just shows the impact that, infrastructure creation. Similar stories we hear, and some of you who are in the fraternity, some of you who are not, would have traveled, would have seen in different parts of the country. It's very difficult to find seats on some flights. It's very difficult to find hotel rooms at some locations on certain, in certain seasons, in certain, the typical talk about the hotel prices that have gone up to this amount in this season, or the hotel tariffs that were there in this season at this particular location. So all this shows the very healthy rebound that has happened as far as domestic tourism is concerned. And people have come out in large numbers, people are spending freely, and people are traveling across the length and breadth of the country, even to hitherto unknown destinations. Because one of the after effects of being cooped up in your house or your apartment for a long time was that people wanted to experience nature, go out for solitary visits, and be on their own and not be in a crowd. And that is one of the changes, apart from the use of technology, apart from the other changes that we have seen in the sector happen. Now, as far as international inbound into India goes, we're still not there. We are at about 65 to 75% of the pre-COVID levels yet, but all studies by international observers, and we have regular access to them, is that Asia Pacific itself is one of the last regions to recover in the world. And because of the behavior of the virus in this region, and because of the fact that countries in this region opened up late, but within Asia Pacific, the expectation is that the recovery is going to be the fastest in India because of the way our vaccination program has progressed, because of the way we opened up just in time. So even though we are at 65, 75, all predictions are that in this calendar year, international inbound will also get back to pre-COVID levels. And that, I think, everybody in the industry is aware of. Some leading inbound operators have come to me last week and they're saying that we just don't have time. They're getting so many bookings. And they're saying that we are running into some typical problems. For instance, at some destinations, they're unable to find luxury buses to, to transport their clients and their guests or whatever. So on that front also, we expect very positive results. Now, luckily, to take advantage of all the tailwinds that we are seeing, and the fact that this is G20 presidency this year, we have announced a Visit India Year 2023, and we are doing a series of events to coincide with the G20 presidency. Now, the G20 presidency has given us a unique opportunity to showcase India. For the first time in the country, 55 plus destinations are going to host meetings at of international levels of G20 delegates, which are about 100 to 200. And I don't think in any country, because in the last two presidencies, because they were held in the COVID times, most of the meetings were held in the online or digital mode, not in the physical mode. Our meetings since December are all in the physical mode, and we will be having international quality meetings at 55 destinations. That itself sends a message that this country is ready to host such high quality events at n number of destinations across the length and the breadth of the country. Now, if you see the sites that have been selected, not in a single area or part of the country is left untouched. There is a meeting, small or large, in Lakshadweep. There is a meeting in the Andamans. There are meetings in every state in the Northeast. There are meetings in North, East, West, South of India. So not one part of the country is left untouched. And that will, send a message of the presidency that we can do international level quality meetings across the length and breadth of the country. And this has been done after assessing the infrastructure and the connectivity and all the connections that we have. For instance, we did our tourism first working group meeting in the run of Kutch, in a tent city. Now, can you imagine 10 years ago, nobody used to go to that village. There were no travelers going there. Today, that village, which is supposedly the last village before, Pakistan, our friend, is just across the border, as the last village, and it is able to host a G20 country. That is testimony to the fact the amount of infrastructure or preparation that we can as a country do. You know, the Sarpanch of the village, we got him there to speak to the G20 delegates on the last day of the event. He's been there for 30 years, is either a Sarpanch or Deputy Sarpanch. And he said that though this is the last village of the country, because we are next to the border, my ambition is to become the first village. And that shows the kind of, you know, sentiment that people of the region feel. So that is, of course, a great opportunity. But side by side, as I said, we are doing this to make it a, you know, take advantage of the tailwinds. We are hosting a lot of major events. There will be a global tourism investors meet at New Delhi, 17th to 19th May. And today itself in the afternoon, Mr. Kachuru was present from CII. He presented to all the ambassadors and heads of missions of leading nations whom we expect to provide investment in the tourism and hospitality sector. And we got a very good response. And we expect sizable participation from both domestic and international investors to get much more, you know, investment. In the last 20 years, we've got about $16 billion of investment, foreign investment in the tourism and hospitality sector. And now, given our ambitions and the size and scale to which I think there is a need to step that up, and this event will help us in that. Side by side with the G20 ministerial, which will be in Goa in June, the World Travel and Tourism Council hosts the CEOs Forum. So they'll be getting about 100 global CEOs to Goa to meet the G20 ministers. And that will be, again, something that will give a push for more investment, given that global CEOs will be visiting this country and will be in Goa in June. Now, there are two major travel marts. IATO is planning to do one in August, and the PATA, which is the Asia Pacific Travel Association, is planning to do an event in October. And this will be events which will bring in practitioners, you know, tour operators from both inbound and outbound, and lead to, you know, healthy interactions between B2B and other connections, so which will definitely help fuel more inbound travel into India in the future. So I need not share the projections. You know, all of you are aware about the statistics. The people like Ashish here who have studied the whole sector, and they know the projections that are there for, you know, the next 25 years, where the sector is going to grow. But all I can say in one sentence is only expected to grow. And I must, to conclude, share the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister when he spoke to us on the 3rd of March in the tourism webinar, and some of you from the industry would have been present. He, of course, talked about, you know, out-of-box thinking. He talked about a long-term vision. So, but some of the pointers he gave are definitely the directions in which, you know, we need to be headed in the future. This event augurs well for that. One very important point that he said, that the average spend of the international tourist who comes to India is much below, and he had figures to prove that the average spend was much below the figures of tourists who go to, say, Australia or to other countries. So how do we make efforts to, you know, pick up the average spend of the international inbound traveler into India? And events like this need to, you know, bring into focus, discuss strategies and ways and means to improve the average spend. The other thing that he highlighted, obviously because of the G20 presidency, is the importance of MICE. You know, we have a lot of convention centers are coming up, but we have a fraction of the MICE, you know, segment in the global industry. We have, in fact, on the other hand, an opposite situation, but many of our companies and trade bodies and associations take people for MICE events to the Middle East, to Thailand, to Malaysia, to Bali, and we have a very small share of that. So he also indicated that how can we get back there and have an impact, given the good air infrastructure, airports, hotels, and convention centers that are coming up at different centers in the country. He also gave a very interesting idea about the need for promoting wedding tourism. This is why can't somebody from Tamil Nadu go and get married in Gujarat, and somebody from Gujarat go get married in South India? These are thoughts that people have still not thought of, but that is a pointer that definitely MICE tourism and wedding tourism are also things that need to be highlighted and promoted in the near future. So with these words, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here and share my thoughts with you. And I congratulate the winners for their contributions that they have done so far. And I'm sure you will encourage others to contribute further to the travel and hospitality industry in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Arvind Singh ji. You mentioned MICE. And I remember about 25 years ago, we had an amazing infrastructure. We had the Habitat Center where you could finally have big enough conferences. And then suddenly the world started thinking in different scales and we needed something more. And I think the Pragati Maidan, the new complex, it's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. And maybe we can claim from Hyderabad the absolute hub for conferences here in Delhi itself. But that's the beauty. We are now not competing with foreign benchmarks. We are competing within the country in terms of how can we get more luxury investment in our tourism destinations, and how can we get more and more footfalls, not just of international tourists or international MICE events, but also of our own domestic tourists really enjoying the country, because there is so much to see. Honorable Secretary Saab talked about J&K. Wow, really, that's just one beautiful part of our country, but we have an endless list. We don't have an endless list of awardees, however. It's a very carefully chosen list. And for the first category, which is the iconic Customer Delight International Airline, I'd like to invite on stage Honorable Minister Herin Fernando, Minister for Tourism and Lands, Government of Sri Lanka. Minister, it was a great privilege to have you with us during the morning sessions, and we hope that your coming here will really take back great impetus for Sri Lanka as well, and things will go better and better. I'd like to invite His Excellency Dr. Ashraf Sheikh Aliyev, the Ambassador of the Republic of Azerbaijan. Excellency, privileged to have you with us. Madhu Jain. She is a designer everyone knows, but she is the one who wears the looms not only on herself, but even all her clients who showcase her beautiful textiles. So more than design, it's textile and revival and preservation of our great arts. I'd like to invite Rakesh Khar, who is the Group Editor, Business and Economy from TV9. We're absolutely delighted to have TV9 Network as our partner. And on your tables, you will see this placard with a QR code, and if you scan that, you'll know why News9 is India's first fully integrated digital English news brand. So do scan that during the course of the evening. You're going to enjoy what all they present to you. It's a wonderful perspective. I'd also like to invite Mr. Balbir Mayal and of course Jyoti Mayal to present the very first award for this evening. And the first category, Iconic Customer Delight International Airline, goes to Emirates Airlines. The number of awards that they've won for customer service are tough to count. They do go beyond and above what their customers expect. And so it's no surprise that they are a preferred airline to travel and absolutely the top in the world ranking. The next award is the Iconic Growth in Capacity and Routes for a Domestic Airline, and for this the winner is
Indigo. Who else?
We're all here together because these are iconic brands. Even the people presenting the awards are iconic, and therefore we all need to acknowledge that. Indigo, always on time, expanding routes all the time, and it's a kind of restless airline. They're never happy with where they've arrived. They're always looking at expanding their fleet, being more affordable, having even more incredible safety benchmarks. And so it really is an iconic brand. Ladies and gentlemen, the next category, Iconic Luxury Indian Hotel Award goes to...
Of course, Taj Hotels.
IHCL. They have had a record-breaking expansion, increasing the number of their rooms immediately post-pandemic, going right ahead. This hotel is synonymous with luxury and excellence. I'd like to thank our presenters for the awards. Thank you so much. And now I'll request Madhu and His Excellency to step down. May I request you, Honorable Minister, to remain with us. And we'd like to invite Parinita Sethi of Global Spa and Peak Life. Not only are her magazines all about luxury and glamour, she does epitomize that as well. We'd like to invite His Excellency Mr. Agis Loizou, the High Commissioner of the Republic of Cyprus, to join us. Such a privilege to have this illustrious set of people on stage to give away the iconic Business Hotel India, which is presented to the Hyatt Regency Delhi. It's a premier business hotel, of course we know that. It's in the heart of the city. The amazing setup that they've created for events in the new extension has been a super hit. Their commitment to personalized attention and impeccable service, their sophisticated interiors do create new benchmarks. Thank you for your exceptional contribution to the business hotel category. And now in this set, I'd like to thank His Excellency, the High Commissioner of the Republic of Cyprus, for being with us. I'd also like to thank Parinita for presenting this award. And for the next award, I'd like to request His Excellency Tan He, Ambassador of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, and Mr. Alfredo Caldera, Chargé d'Affaires, Embassy of Venezuela, to join us to present this award along with the Honorable Minister, Jyoti and Balbir. So the iconic emerging sustainable airline domestic, the award goes to Akasa Air. Mr. Jhunjhunwala would have been very happy to see how yet another one of his dreams have come true. It is a leading domestic airline in India and has made significant strides in promoting sustainability in the aviation industry. They've shown a strong commitment to reduction of carbon emission, and therefore they have less plastic, fuel-efficient systems, eco-friendly initiatives, that is using biofuels and efficient aircraft to reduce the carbon footprint. Their focus on sustainability has not only helped them achieve environmental goals, but also set an example for the entire industry. For their contribution towards promoting sustainable aviation practices, Akasa Air is the deserving recipient of the Emerging Sustainable Airline Domestic Award. Thank you to all our presenters. Thank you, Minister. And now we have Kartikeya Sharma, who is the executive editor of TV9 Network, and we'll request him to interview the Honorable Minister from Sri Lanka and have a little chit-chat about the situations and the collaborations that we can do. yes, we'd love to have you with us. Would you like to say a few words about this morning session, Minister?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for having me, and thank you, Mrs. Jyoti Mal, for getting me down to Delhi for one day, 24 hours. I just have to take the flight at midnight again. She never took a no for an answer, but she's more an ambassador for Sri Lanka than myself, I would say. So thank you, Jyoti Mal, for doing for all what you have done for Sri Lanka. Well, Sri Lanka, today's session was pretty interesting. Heard many good stories, brainstorming sessions. I was supposed to give some numbers and how Sri Lanka is also your neighbor. We find India as a big brother who have always come for our rescue. Sri Lanka is a resilient nation. We are coming back strong again. I'm so happy to say IMF just gave us a first bailout yesterday, so Sri Lanka is back on track. And it's going to be one of the best nations that Sri Lanka can collaborate with India, and there's a lot we can share. So we discussed a lot in the morning session. The morning session was very important, and I saw the iconic leader of this travel industry, Jyoti Mal, actually handling that event so well, just like in the evening. So that's all I had to say on the morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minister. We're delighted to hear about that bailout because Sri Lanka is certainly on my list of favorite destinations. And now I'll request you to take your seat there as Karthikeya Sharma, Executive Editor of TV9 Network, carries on the interview with the Honorable Minister.
I assure you it's going to be short, sweet, and it's not going to be very inconvenient. We had been, and I'll start straight away, we had been discussing various aspects of tourism in context of COVID. But in context of Sri Lanka, let me just begin this conversation by asking you, and a very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. How has the tourist sector shaped up post-COVID and post-economic turbulence in Sri Lanka?
Well, one of the first and the foremost thing, when I saw Indigo taking an award, I was so happy and excited. See, I had a biggest challenge accepting the portfolio of tourism when the whole controversy happened in Sri Lanka. The last final tourist left the island. There was no fuel, there's no electricity, there's chaos in the country, and to take over a post and within 7 months to recover and get back to our normal, which is 7,000 tourists a day, where we are getting 6,000 is a major task. And one of the major things that happened was India supporting us, number one. Number two was that we got the airline seat capacity up again. And that's why I was talking about Indigo. We met the CEOs of Air India, Alliance Express. We made sure the flights to Sri Lanka started to operate again. That was our first step, and I think getting the air seat capacity and getting the tourists' essentials in Sri Lanka and not losing hope was the key to the success, I would say.
Tourism plays a very important role in the economy. It's about jobs, it's about people, it's about infrastructure. But Sri Lanka, I think the contribution of tourism is 12% or slightly more than that in the GDP. But when it comes to India-Sri Lanka tourism, what are the potentials you see? What's the scope?
Currently, it used to be India as number one, but there is a country that has surpassed India at the moment, the last 3 months. But I badly hope India comes back to number one. And it looks like, because we recently had a MICE Expo, soon after the MICE Expo, we have got so many inquiries. Even right now, there's a company, over 1,000 MICE travelers are in Sri Lanka. So it's quite continuous. I think we've been very aggressive. We've done some road shows in Mumbai, Delhi, and Hyderabad. We're doing one again end of the month in Cochin, Bangalore, and Chennai. So it looks very, very good. The numbers are looking, picking up. As you know, the Europeans were number one. UK was our number one market. But it has slightly dropped down. The Russian market has picked up a lot in Sri Lanka. Chinese will also pick up from April onwards. So overall, India is competing now.
But if you recall, India's Prime Minister has spoken very extensively about the Buddhist circuit. The Tourism Ministry, various state governments they have worked on the Buddhist circuit. And Prime Minister has spoken across the globe about it. So how important is the Buddhist circuit in the entire tourist ecosystem between India and Sri Lanka?
It's not just the Buddhism. I think Sri Lanka has a multi-religious country. And one thing we are promoting very heavily is the Ramayana trail. The Rama and the Sita story is very famous. And as you know, Sita was taken to Sri Lanka and Rama came in search of Sita. So it's a beautiful story. We are building that story around and we are having a trail on it. So it's working on. The Buddhist tourism, the meditation, the yoga and the wellness is the next big thing that Sri Lanka is really opening up to. Having said that, there is also positive energy, the faith that people have with the sun. So all of that is also working in Sri Lanka with various ways. So it's helping us.
Sri Lankan tourism has been part of global imagination. It's not as if it has come of age now. And specifically in context of the western side of Sri Lanka, either Galle, Hikkadurai or Colombo, people know it. But what about the western coast, which is like Jaffna, Trincomalee? How has that developed? What is the potential?
Today, throughout the day, and there's so much of investment opportunity to all of you. I am also the lands minister of Sri Lanka, not only the tourism. I have 2 portfolios. Anybody wanting to invest in Sri Lanka, there's loads of opportunity. Just hit me up. I will want to invite you all. We are going to have a investment forum for tourism in lands. There's so many people who have bought villas. You can have 100% ownership. And the place is honestly, not because I'm saying it, I'm sure most of you have gone it. It's beautiful, it's clean, it's more friendly, very hospitable. And the places, like you just said, another place for investment is...
And well connected?
Well connected, very well connected. I was the telecom minister before, digital infrastructure, sports and foreign employment as well. So the entire country is fiber optic enabled. The entire country is fiber optic enabled and 4G coverage is entire country. Throughout the country has it. We are the first one to pilot the Google balloon. Unfortunately, it didn't take off, but we were a country who actually piloted it a few years back. There is investment opportunity if you really look at it in Sri Lanka for domestic transport. Places like the East Coast, just like you said, the only issue that the hindrance I see for Sri Lanka is the road network taking about 3 to 4 hours to reach there. But a helicopter ride would only take 30 minutes, 25 minutes. So we are looking at the upmarket of tourism, promoting those places, and many high-end boutique villas are available in all of these areas. I just met a couple of investors in the evening while I was in Delhi. So hopefully we might find an investor from India to run a helicopter operation or a domestic airline in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
The license will be provided.
But what about the air connectivity? It's easier to travel to Sri Lanka from Chennai. You have a direct 3-hour flight from Delhi to Colombo.
Yes, so Chennai even has a flight to Jaffna now, thanks to Alliance Express. And Alliance Express, I need to really recognize them for really helping us and starting a new air route inside as an international airport in Jaffna. So that's one of the breakthroughs that we've done. There are a few other airlines which we will try to use to come on an internal operation. Hopefully those things might work.
Last 2 quick questions. What is your imagination for tourism in Sri Lanka's economy in the next 5 years?
Well, the maximum we had was in 2018 was our best year. Mm-hmm. That was 2.3 million tourists. But just like the Secretary for Tourism just mentioned, like Prime Minister Modi said, it's about how much a tourist spends a day on their visit. So in Sri Lanka, it's about $200. And what we want to see is it goes up to at least $400 to $500. So what we are looking at is as much as we maintain our normal customers, but we are looking at a bit of a high-end trail in Sri Lanka. We just opened up for a skydiving school. We've got 6 balloons, hot air balloons inside Sri Lanka from Cappadocia. So we are looking at all of these new things. So our next target is to go up to 3 million, but at least have 600 to 700,000 high network clients throughout the year.
Profit is an important incentive when it comes to business. But in tourism, sustainability is also very, very important. So my last question to you is, that how do you make tourism sustainable? There is a Bhutan model. Then India also had its problem in context of creating infrastructure and connectivity, but then the tourism was so much in a couple of states that it brings down the quality of experience. So in the Sri Lankan imagination, how do you balance the the profit part with the sustainability, because there's no sustainability, there is no tourism in long run.
It's not going to be a short answer. It's a deep question. It's few models that you'll have to operate when you really look at about sustainable tourism. And in the morning, my main keynote was on sustainable tourism and how we should go about it. So it's a balance. It's striking the balance, striking the right balance. It would differ from country to country. So how Sri Lanka would adapt would be very different. So it's about the room nights that you have. It's about the formal sector, the informal sector, how you balance it all up together. So we've had a plan. We're always thinking of sustainable tourism. And we also think about working with our neighbors on sustainability, on working on these models, because that's how sustainable tourism can be lasted for a long time.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karthikeya. Honorable Minister, I'm afraid we are going to really make you, showcase just how true it is that you look as young as you are. So we're going to have you exercise and come right back onto stage once again to present the next set of awards. And for this, I'd like to invite Mr. Rajiv Talwar, who is advisor to the DLF group, but in his many avatars, he's always been iconic, like the awards. He has, in his avatar in the IAS, he has contributed tremendously to the tourism sector and the transport sector. I'd also like to take this opportunity to invite Mr. Vishnu Shankar, who is the editor Convergence TV9 network, and of course Balbir Mayal and Jyoti Mayal. What a privilege to have the greats of the industry on stage here with us. And I'd now like to announce the iconic Emerging Tourist Destination International, and that award goes to Saudi Tourism Authority. They have snow, they have sand, they have green. The beautiful thing is that they were known to be a religious destination, but today they are a preferred luxury travel destination. So they have invested tremendous amounts in infrastructure and in promoting their destinations. So whether it's their historical sites, scenic landscapes, or even the iconic cultural events that they've created, they have moved towards sustainable and responsible tourism. Congratulations to Saudi Tourism Authority for the wonderful work they've done with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And the next award category is Iconic Transforming Travel to Technology. I'd like to thank our presenter, and our presenters, and I'd also like to invite Her Excellency Deepa Gopalan Vadva, former Ambassador of India to Tokyo and many, many other places, one of our most dynamic ambassadors. So please join us to present this award, Iconic Transforming Travel to Technology, and the award goes to Ease My Trip. Congratulations to Ease My Trip. The next Iconic Travel Technology Partner Award goes to ITQ Travelport. They are recognized for their exceptional contribution to travel technology, innovative solutions, and services to travel companies worldwide. With their commitment to excellence and cutting-edge technology, ITQ Travelport has established itself as a leading provider of travel technology solutions. Their efforts in developing and implementing new technologies have played a significant role in transforming the travel industry and enhancing the travel experience for millions of travelers. I'd like to thank Mr. Rajiv Talwar and also Ms. Deepa Gopalan Vadva. Thank you, Ambassador Vadva. And now I'd like to invite Mr. K.L. Ganju, OCVC Consul General, the Union of Comoros. Also, His Excellency Damba Javan Ganbold, Ambassador of Mongolia. Some beautiful countries that are bringing lovely visuals as we invite the ambassador up on stage. And the award for this travel platform B2B goes to Nexus DMC. Congratulations. And I'd also like to now once again invite Mr. Vishnu Shankar, Editor Convergence of TV9 Network, to present the next award, which is the Iconic Luxury Apartments Dubai. And the award goes to Cheval Collection. They are recognized for their outstanding contribution to the luxury apartment industry in Dubai. And Dubai has so much excellence and so much luxury that to be outstanding in that category, in that place, is really, really iconic. And I can see Sabah nodding in agreement. Sabah really is an iconic person when it comes to luxury. The Cheval really has set a new benchmark for luxury living in Dubai. I'd like to thank His Excellency, the Ambassador of Comoros. Thank you for being with us. And I'd like to invite His Excellency Mr. Firaz Sunil, the Ambassador of the Republic of Turkey, to join us. I'd also like to invite Mr. Rituraj Khanna to join us to present this award. And thank you to the Ambassador of Mongolia for presenting the earlier award in spirit, because he was not here with us in person, but I'm sure he had his good wishes being sent across. And the most trusted travel insurance provider, the award goes to ASEGO. When you travel, for it to be a good experience, the most important thing is peace of mind. And if you have an insurance company that is able to give that to you, if you don't have to think about them or what will happen if things go wrong, then they've really achieved what they've set out to do. ASEGO is a leading provider of travel protection insurance policies, offering comprehensive coverage for travelers around the world. What sets them apart from their competitors is that their policies have become the gold standard for travel protection insurance. So congratulations to them. The next award, the Iconic Luxury Cruise Representation. And the recognition goes to Royal Caribbean, their own marketing. For all the cruise enthusiasts, Royal Caribbean is synonymous with taking cruises. But to be able to put together packages and present them to consumers in a way that once again you want to say, how about yet another cruise? That's the specialty. Their dedication towards creating unparalleled experiences for cruise enthusiasts is commendable. I'd like to thank Mr. Firat Sunil, the Ambassador of the Republic of Turkey, for presenting this award. I'd also like to thank Mr. Rituraj Khanna for joining us on stage. And now for the next category, I'd like to invite Sinisa Pavic, Ambassador of Republic of Serbia to India. Your Excellency, thank you for joining us. And Shazia Ilbi, who is the spokesperson of the BJP, and she has also been an iconic journalist many, many decades ago. But today, the hat that she wears has her on a different side on the television screen. So she is not here with us, but once again, we have her amazing spirit. And the iconic Missions and Visa Facilitation Award goes to none other than VFS. Whether it is for the missions or for the travelers, VFS provides a facility that makes life much, much easier. Their visa facilitation is seamless and efficient and handles millions of applicants. Their commitment to enhance the whole process and to make it seamless and customer-centric is commendable. They are an industry leader and they have maintained that lead no matter what. So that really is quite something. And now, the next award. The iconic effective tourism representation, and that goes to Think Strawberries. When you think strawberries, you think of all the wonderful rosy destinations all over the world, because you really... So they have made outbound tourism for the Indian traveler so attractive and opened out so many new destinations, because knowing is aspiring. So when you know about the wonderful outbound destinations that they promote, then one does want to pack your bags and get going. Thank you so much to all our presenters, and congratulations to the awardees. Thank you. I'm just going to do a quick few questions. Actually, one question. Luxury to you, Nakul Anand. Luxury to you, what does it mean?
Luxury is, I think, luxury means multiple amount of things. Of course, luxury is about the unattainable, but I think luxury is also some, sorry. Okay. Luxury could mean a lot of things. Luxury is about the unattainable. Luxury is something that is pricey. Luxury is something that you want but don't have it. But I think above all, there's a change in the thinking of the luxury consumer. It's now combined with sustainability. Luxury must reflect, or when I wear luxury, luxury must reflect what I stand for. And therefore, sustainability is a very important part of what luxury is. Let me give you an example. Before the movie Blood Diamond came about, when the Oscar fashion parade took place before the Oscars, everybody would picture on the diamonds. After the Blood Diamond, nobody has ever worn a diamond on the Oscar. The mink coat today, nobody wears it. The chatouche, for instance, pâté de foie gras, it's called sin in a tin, right? So luxury is just as much as it is about attainable, it is about quality, it's also all about sustainability, as it must reflect my values. We all know that there is no planet B, and luxury must take it further. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anand. Let me ask Kishwar Desai, because he's talking about sustainability, and for Kishwar, does luxury mean remembering your past, Kishwar?
Thanks so much. It's such a wonderful occasion to be here. And Shivani, I think we all know that luxury is just a state of mind. You can feel and be blessed with the most luxurious things in life and not enjoy them. So I think the real luxury is to have the things around you, the people around you, the love around you, the memories around you, and to be able to enjoy them and to feel happy with them. So I think that's what real luxury is.
Beautiful words. And my last question to a lady who's very, very careful with her words, because, you know, everybody wants to say what they have thought or done or achieved. But here's someone who quietly puts it on a canvas. She doesn't say much, but I'm going to push her to say luxury to you, Ranjita Kant.
I agree with the Kishwar totally, because luxury is something which if you're able to enjoy it. So that is your peace of mind, your happiness, everything otherwise is not luxury. Even if you have everything around, lot of money, lot of things, if you're not able to enjoy, it's not luxury for you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And on that wonderful note, we have everything around us. We have a whole set of panelists. Their seats are ready. And I'm going to hand over once again to Karthikesh Sharma, who's the executive editor of TV9 Network, to take you into the world of luxury with those that make it, create it, curate it, and live it.
Thank you, Shivani. And I promise all of you, we didn't discuss the questions. And if you look at the format of the last session of this long day, it was actually on luxury. So let me take this opportunity to invite music composer Anu Malik ji on stage. Nakul Anand, Executive Director, ITC Limited. Mohammad Saran, Vice President, Emirates. Rupinder Brar, Principal Commissioner, Income Tax, Mumbai. Veer Sanghvi, acclaimed author, senior journalist. Ambassador Deepa Gopalan Wadhwa, and His Excellency Nguyen Thanh Hien. Good evening, sir. Short and sweet, yes. I know it's been a long day, and this is the last session, so I'm not going to hold people here. So what I've decided, that I'll break the session in two parts. The idea of luxury, it can be different, as in the conversation Shivani had. You know, it can be your sleep, it can be the size of the bed, or it can just be a beautiful locale, it can be sunset, or it can just be the pleasure of being there, solace. So the first part would be your idea of luxury, and I'll start with Mr. Sanghvi. And then there'll be a rapid fire session, 3 words, and your response to that. So, sir, what is your idea of luxury?
Well, first, a world, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
if you can
First
keep
of
it.
all, First of all, a world where a colleague doesn't call me sir. So please don't call me sir, call me Veer. Yeah? Secondly, in answer to your question, I think luxury is a dream. The key to a luxury experience is you must make whoever you're giving that experience to feel that they are in a dream. Everything is perfect, they are pampered, there's good taste around. It's very removed from the world they normally inhabit. If it's just the world they inhabit with, say, a suite or a 5-star hotel, then it's not luxury.
One word, tourism. What comes to your mind?
Sorry?
Tourism. When I say tourism, what comes to your mind?
Adventure, travel, broadening the mind.
India,
Perfect.
journey.
It's the journey that's more important than the destination.
Thank you. Beautifully put. Now, Ambassador Nguyen Thanh Hien, your idea of luxury.
So I have 3 interpretations of the luxury tourism. Number 1 is the very fine balance between the nature and modernity, you know, like a 5 or 6-star hotel in a very nice nature. The second interpretation of luxury is the once-in-a-lifetime experience you might have. The third interpretation is the, you know, you can have all in one, you know, experience. Like you have green, you have modernity, and you have experience, everything, you know, in one trip.
Okay. So what comes to your mind when I say tourism?
Experience.
India?
India, yes.
India. When I say India, what comes to your mind?
India, I think when it comes to my mind about India is the, incredible.
And journey?
Yes.
And journey, the last word, journey.
Yes, journey, yes.
What comes to your mind when I use the word journey?
Yes, journey is all about the same as experience. You have to have the journey and then you experience. Yes.
Okay. Now I'll come to Mr. Sarhan. You can take the mic. Your idea of luxury.
Luxury, I think it's more of a reliable and consistent premium product. Yeah, that's what we deliver in the airline. It's very much of a reliable product from the time you start your journey. It's all about consistent and luxury product all the way.
And when I say the word passion, what comes to your mind?
Passion.
Passion.
Okay, so it's different now. I was preparing myself for some of your words, but now it's...
I thought it's getting boring, so I changed it.
Okay, so yeah, passion is more of maybe a loyalty of doing something.
Your interpretation. India.
Wonderland.
Tourism.
Tourism is pleasure.
Pleasure. Perfect. Now, I'll come to Ambassador Wadhwa. Madam, people have different ideas of luxury. Is luxury a state of mind? Is it about materiality? Or is it about experiencing? Or is it about experience that feels very different to you?
I think it's kind of a realization in many ways of a very, a perfect realization rather of a dream that you have. That you want to be in a perfect place, you want to be with the right people, you want to be close to nature if you're fond of nature, everything put together. But certainly above the ordinary, and that's what's important about luxury. It has to be extraordinary from your daily life and your normal experiences.
A second question to you. How has luxury travel evolved in this country in last 20, 30, 40 years? Like hospitality, Southeast Asia has done very well. It is a different market. How has Indian luxury market come up?
Well, I think India has all the elements that should actually be able to project it and profile it as a super luxury market. And we're getting over there. I think I think the question that Secretary Arvind Singh said about Prime Minister saying that why aren't people spending more in India and why they're spending more in Australia?
Correct.
And I think that's what we have to do. So we've got to cater to that luxury market. I think we're making a beginning with all these luxury cruises. We're getting there. We have the destinations. We have all the elements. Somehow we've got to push it a little more.
So what comes to your mind when I say hospitality?
I'm sitting in a hotel chain, so I can't talk about hotel chains. ITC. No, but seriously, I think this is something, when I say hospitality and service, I think it's something we have to work on a lot more. Because I lived in Japan, and I think there the levels of service and hospitality were extremely, extremely high. So I would talk about Japan.
I'll go to Madam Rupinder Brar. Your Dekho India campaign is an example, very successful, made an impact. Do you think that it contributed in context of what luxury is or luxury tourism in India is?
Absolutely. When you think luxury in the India context, I think the whole idea of stepping into both man-made history and the natural history is just so immense. And that's what luxury to me means, where you can marry the two, the man-made and the natural habitats that we have.
Mm-hmm. And your idea of luxury?
My idea of luxury is lying down in the Leh region and looking at the stars in the sky.
Time slowing down?
Yes, slowing down. Digital detox.
When I use the word India, what comes to your mind?
Incredible.
Incredible. Yeah. Anu Malik ji,
जी
कोई समारोह आपकी धुन के बिना तो कंप्लीट हो नहीं सकता है, इम्पॉसिबल. तो ये सेशन लग्जरी पे है, आप यहाँ हैं, सुन रहे हैं, आप इस पे एक धुन बना सकते हैं?
देखिए, मेरे एक फेवरेट पर्सन है इस मंच पर बैठे हुए हैं. ही इज ऑलवेज सेड दैट अन्नू मलिक इज ऑलवेज पुट इन अ स्पॉट. हर वक्त यहाँ लग्जरी ट्रैवल डेस्टिनेशन, मैं देख रहा था वहाँ बैठा
जिनको सब पढ़ते हैं,
ये क्या लिखा हुआ था,
आप उनकी बात कर रहे हैं जिनको सब पढ़ते हैं रेफरेंस के तौर पे?
मैं बताता हूँ, मेरे फेवरेट पर्सन वहाँ मिस्टर वीर जी बैठे हैं, वीर संघवी साहब. इन्होंने मेरी स्ट्रगल, मेरी कहानी, मेरी जिंदगी बहुत अच्छी तरह समझी और जानी है. एंड आई लाइक हिम वेरी मच, आई एक्चुअली अडोर हिम. और मैं जब यहाँ बैठा था, सबसे पहले तो मैं ज्योति मयाल जी का शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ. ज्योति जी, जिनकी वजह से मैं यहाँ आया हूँ. शी वॉज द वन हू सेड वी वांट टू ऑनर यू फॉर ऑल द हार्ड वर्क दैट यू हैव डन इन योर लाइफ, एंड आई वांट टू थैंक यू ज्योति जी. तो गाना तो बना ही दूंगा, क्योंकि वो क्या लोग मानते भी नहीं ना कितना ये अन्नू मलिक 45 साल से काम कर रहा है, किस तरह करता है, गाने किस तरह बनाता है, ये किस तरह, हाउ डज ही कम आउट विद दीस ट्यून्स. तो सबसे पहले तो ज्योति जी के लिए एक शायरी आ रही है मेरे दिमाग में. ज्योति मयाल है नाम, तो मैं अपने हिसाब से कुछ बोलना चाहता हूँ ज्योति जी आपके लिए, बिफोर वी गो एनीवेयर एल्स. कि ना मैं मांगता हूं आपसे कोई जवाब, ना मैं मांगता हूं आपसे कोई जवाब, ना करूंगा कोई सवाल. मेरा दिल कहता है, मेरा मन कहता है, यू आर अ वंडरफुल पर्सन ज्योति मयाल. ये अचानक चीज आई, और जो गाने की बात कर रहे हैं, व्हाट डू यू मेक, आप लोग जो भी कोई शब्द देना चाहते हैं मुझे दे दीजिए, मैं बोलों पर तर्जे बनाता हूं. तो आप मुझे कुछ बोल दीजिए जो मीनिंगफुल हो, मैं कुछ ना कुछ तर्ज बनाना शुरू कर दूंगा आपके सामने.
खूबसूरत,
एक ही लफ्ज दिया आपने, खूबसूरत. और दीजिए. अब ये प्लान नहीं है, वहां से
शब्द आप दीजिए.
नहीं, वहां से आना चाहिए कोई वर्ड, क्योंकि नहीं तो लोग बोलेंगे आप प्लान किया हुआ है. ये भरोसा नहीं, आजकल कोई ट्रस्ट नहीं करता किसी पर.
नहीं, दिस इज नॉट अ फिक्स मैच सर. नहीं,
कोई वहां से आ जाए.
किसी को पहले नहीं बोला गया है.
खूबसूरत.
एनीवन?
क्या बोला? खूबसूरत और प्यार में ज्यादा फर्क नहीं है.
The lady on the other end, madam, she said strawberry. Strawberry.
खूबसूरत से आप चली गई स्ट्रॉबेरी. खूबसूरत, पिंक स्ट्रॉबेरी, प्यार. चलिए अब खूबसूरत, पिंक स्ट्रॉबेरी, प्यार. तो I want everyone to, when I give a tempo, to clap, okay? वीर जी, this is how I've been composing. खूबसूरत, पहला नोट आया. खूबसूरत, पिंक स्ट्रॉबेरी और प्यार. खूबसूरत, पिंक स्ट्रॉबेरी और प्यार. आगे कोई शब्द दिया नहीं है, तो ट्यून आएगी. तुरंत 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 सबको हो गया है यार. अब ये तुरम 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 अगर वो शायर हो तो लिख देता. तो मैं खूबसूरत, पिंक स्ट्रॉबेरी और प्यार, इसको सब चाहते हैं, सब इनको बनाना चाहते अपना यार. खूबसूरत, पिंक स्ट्रॉबेरी और प्यार, इनको सब चाहते हैं और अपना बनाना चाहते हैं यार. इंडिया ऐसा देश है, इंडिया ऐसा देश है, जीतता रहेगा, कभी मानेगा किसी से नहीं हार. खूबसूरत, पिंक स्ट्रॉबेरी और प्यार, सब चाहते हैं इसे, बनाना चाहते हैं अपना इसे यार. This was just made right now, guys. So this is Annu Malik.
Big hand to you. Big hand to you.
Thank you.
अच्छा, 3 शब्द आपके ध्यान में क्या आता है अगर मैं हिंदुस्तान बोलूं?
Sorry sir?
अगर मैं हिंदुस्तान बोलूं,
अगर आप हिंदुस्तान बोलें,
आपके जहन में क्या आता है?
इसके लिए मैं अपनी जान भी दे सकता हूं. I love India. आपको मेरे लिए इतना तो ये जानते हैं कि राइट फ्रॉम द टाइम व्हेन आई वाज ओनली 16 मैं वो गाने बनाता आ रहा हूँ. खास करके संदेशे आते हैं, हमें तड़पाते हैं, जो चिट्ठी आती है वो पूछे जाती है कि घर कब आओगे, से लेकर ऐसा लगता है, पंछी नदियाँ पवन के झोंके, रेफ्यूजी, LOC कारगिल, बॉर्डर, ये सब इसके गाने बनाने वाला आपके सामने बैठा है जिसका नाम है अन्नू मलिक. और हमारे घर में एक ही बात होती है, जो पहला गाना मैंने बनाया था, ईस्ट और वेस्ट, इंडिया इज द बेस्ट.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And I'll have the last word from you, Mr. Anand, because you said luxury. You know, through the day, we spoke about sustainability and luxury as two different poles. Can luxury be sustainable in long run?
I'm not...
Let me add, sorry. If you go to Instagram, where Airbnb or the ads for, homes being open for very upmarket tourists, it says it's sustainable, it's eco-friendly, but it doesn't equate the word luxurious with it. It doesn't do that. And you use the word sustainable with luxury. How does that happen?
Okay, our ethos is responsible luxury, right? And responsibility encompasses many things, including sustainability, sustainability being a sub-part of it. A decade back when we were rebranding our hotels and we were getting into the luxury segment, we were at a dilemma. ITC had always been a sustainable company. It was always carbon positive, water positive, recycling positive. And on the other hand, we had hotels which were luxury. At that time, it was felt that we had to choose one of the two paths. You could either be luxury or you could be sustainable. For instance, any hotel that was a sustainable hotel was not a luxury hotel. You would reduce the pressure of the water. Your AC would only be switched on when you entered the room, so you would have to sweat for 15 minutes. You are asked that if your bed sheet need not be changed for 3 days, or your pillow, or your towels, etc., etc. So it was always felt that luxury and sustainability could not be combined together. We are the first chain that said, no, we will not have luxury or sustainability. We will choose the path less traveled and combine the two together and create what is called responsible luxury. And we were at that time building our first hotel, ITC Gardenia. It was still to be tested out whether this concept would work. I was very convinced that it would work. Not only did it get a platinum rating, India's first platinum rated hotel for sustainability, but also the most luxurious hotel. So here, it was testimony to the fact that the two could coexist.
Mr. Sanghvi, do you agree with this in terms of sustainability and luxury? And I would like you to address this issue. You have written a number of times in your article, the hospitality industry in Southeast Asia in comparison with India in the luxury market.
Yeah, no, on the subject of sustainability, I think Nakul is absolutely right. For many years, when a hotel said it was green, basically that meant put off the lights and we won't give you more lights, or don't expect us to wash your streets. It was usually seen by consumers as a way of cutting corners. Now, when Nakul took over ITC and he opened this whole new generation of hotels, starting with the Gardenia, followed by the Chola, and all of the others, he's the first person I know who said responsibility stroke sustainability doesn't mean shortchanging the customer. Give them more, but give it responsibly. So almost everything they do, and I say this even though I'm talking in his presence, even if you go to their buffets at breakfast, there will be whole grains, there will be cold-pressed juices. It's a philosophy that goes across the chain. Not only are they responsible, but they're also very luxurious.
And what is our learning curve when it comes to the hospitality industry in Southeast Asia?
What do I think about hospitality in South Asia? I think everybody talks about Asian service, which is right. But that's at least partly because our ratios are better than in, say, Europe. We have more people per customer or per guest. But I believe, and maybe this is slightly parochial, that one of the problems with Asian service is you can train people, and if they have a program and you tell them what to do, it'll go fine. If there's something unexpected, it won't go so fine. The reason why Indian service is the best in the world is because, in hotels, because Indian managers use their discretion. They think on their feet. If there's ever a problem, if there's ever anything that's not according to the plan, only in an Indian hotel will anybody from the butler upwards have a solution. That's when I've traveled the world, there's no substitute for Indian service.
Ambassador Tan, would you agree with Veer on this, Asian hospitality? With Mr. Sanghvi, with Asian hospitality.
You're asking him if he agrees with me? Or,
yes, agrees with you.
Do you agree with me that Asian hospitality is the best?
I think the Asian hospitality It can provide very unique services, unique qualities, and it's hard for me to kind of compare, but I think in my own opinion, it's the best quality, especially in Asia Pacific, the best quality that we
What
can
makes
offer.
it the best? What ticks for us? What makes it the best? What ticks for us? The mana for that hospitality.
I think it's about the care that people
Care.
give to the
Personal touch.
Yes, yes.
Madam Bra, in a previous session, when Mr. Pardeshi was here, he was speaking about the initiative under G20. He spoke about 3 C's. Craft, then he spoke about cuisine, and then he spoke about culture. Promoting tourism through G20. Is it towards sustainability or is it towards the luxury?
I think you have to look at both of them together. When we look at luxury, there can be no luxury if it's not sustainable, because then it's not going to even last. And coming to the 3 C's part and looking at it from the India perspective, I think when we are taking things forward, which are really our USPs and strengths, what you're actually doing through that is creating a sustainable future for tourism in India. And that itself creates so much sustainability. It's about making sure that people who are attached to those 3 sectors actually are going to find their livelihoods through that. And that's why you're promoting things to sustain, to stay there, and you own up your heritage. There's just so much around it. So yes, I think luxury and sustainability through the 3 C's in G20 is the way forward.
And Ambassador Wadhwa, there has been a continuous discourse on promoting internal tourism. Prime Minister has spoken about it. He spoke very extensively about it last year. So when we talk about internal tourism, creating a big internal market, do you think India has great potential for domestic luxury tourism and not wait for the foreign West European tourists or American tourists or tourists from prosperous nations to come here?
I think it's really happening already. I mean, just look at the post-COVID rush. You go to any one of these really sort of luxury chains, and we've been traveling a bit, my husband and I, and we find it's just really completely full of Indian tourists who don't mind at all paying, and spending well there. And I think it's already happening in India. So I think domestic tourism is really what is leading the tourism industry in India, and luxury tourism too.
If I may ask you, which is your luxury destination in India?
I'm from Kerala, so I'm a little partial to Kerala.
Pardon me?
I'm from Kerala, so I'm a little partial to Kerala.
केरला। अनुबलक जी, सबसे खूबसूरत जगह आपको कौन सी लगती है अगर आपको इंडिया में लग्जरी एंजॉय करनी है?
आपको ये बड़ा क्लीशेड लगेगा, लेकिन मैं काफ़ी घूमा हूँ. I've done a lot of shows all over the world, but now सही माने में I'm discovering India in a big way. अभी फिलहाल मैं कोचिन गया था, and she just spoke about Kerala, and I just absolutely fell in love with Munnar, and when I went there, and then of course Maharashtra में मैं, you will be surprised, I've been traveling extensively. I went and did some shows in Surat, I went to Northeast, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Punjab, जहाँ जा रहा हूँ, I and my wife end up discussing, we always say that वाकई हिंदुस्तान में जो चीज़ें हैं वो कहीं नहीं है. I mean, and hospitality industry, जो बड़े-बड़े लोग यहाँ बैठे हैं, I must thank all of you guys because we just love traveling in India and the amount of hospitality we get from everyone around you, around us. I mean, our Veerji was just saying I was observing how he was talking about the people who think on their feet. And I really feel, कभी-कभी कोई problem हो जाए, so the way our serving industry thinks on their feet is something fantastic. So I love India and I want to travel more and more in India and see the places in India.
Okay. And Mr. Saran, a place where you would like to spend a vacation in India?
I would
Luxurious.
do Kashmir.
Kashmir. Which part of Kashmir? You have Pahalgam, you have Gulmarg, you have Srinagar. Gulmarg. And coming back to you, what are the challenges of luxury tourism in India right now? Where do we need to work?
There are none. I think initially, the question was just answered. I think that earlier we had to wait for the foreigner to come. I think the COVID has been a blessing in a way for luxury tourism. Many of the Indians would, at the drop of a hat, take a holiday abroad. You're now cooped up in your house. You've been in your home for 7-8 months. You said, let me drive 100 kilometers. You drove 100 kilometers and you said, not bad at all, and what a lovely hotel I've got. You next went 200 kilometers. You then went 300 kilometers. To say, to the credit of the government, to the credit of the powers that be, highways are better, infrastructure is better, roads are better, but people never realized it. So today, we've had, as a hotel industry, the last 3 months have been record. And foreigners haven't come back to the 2019 level. And I'm talking about the luxury hotels, but all the way down, etc. So Indian tourism India has now seen...
Are you saying that's the sea change?
Yeah, it's a sea change. And I would like to believe that a person who could afford a holiday would take 4 holidays overseas in a year, perhaps. He would now definitely do 2 in India and 2 overseas and say, hey, look what I missed out. India is such a lovely country.
Are you saying that the Indian middle class, which is global, which likes to travel, spend money, go to Dubai, I was going through data, the sort of travel which is taking place from here to UAE is immense. You know, that was not the case 30 years ago. So are you saying that the Indian global middle class, which can now afford to go out, taste the food, taste the hospitality and come back, has started to explore
and
the Indian
appreciate
potential?
India and wonders why he hadn't done it earlier?
Why? Is it because he was not aware of it?
Well, partly awareness, partly experience. You just felt that you were going abroad, that's all. And you now were forced to go and travel in India because there was no flights. And when you tried it, you said, wow, this is great, what a lovely country I have. What have I missed out all my years? It happened to me personally also. I mean, okay, I've been in this industry. I took a trip to Rajasthan on a New Year. We would normally go overseas. And one realized how comfortable it was. One realized how lovely the highways were. One was worried about roadside amenities, but everywhere there were toilets. Everywhere there was great food available.
But, you know, a lot of people would say it's cheaper to go to Bangkok, it's cheaper to go to Jakarta, it's cheaper to go to Phnom Penh. Listen to me. It's manageable Southeast Asian circuit, but it's very expensive. Rajasthan becomes unaffordable. Hotels in Andaman becomes unaffordable. How do you reconcile that then?
You are now talking like Jyoti and her travel agent association, who claims that India is very expensive, right? No, it's not so. I think if you look at the overall Indian tariff, right, versus global tariffs, we are still about 0.6 of what is the global tariff.
Okay.
Okay. Look at a city like New York. The average rate today running in a city like New York is $600, right, for a 200 square feet room.
But if I compare it with Saigon,
Saigon
or Yangon,
nothing is less than 300, 400 now. So India is still relatively cheap, if you ask me.
Okay, so I think the consensus in the panel is that it's not only coming of age of the Indian luxury tourism, but domestic tourism, the luxury sector, is working. And on this note, as I promised, it's the last session of a very long day. And I think on this note, I'll close it. Thank you, all of you.
And may I request our panelists to remain on stage because we have little mementos for you. At this point of time, I can say, Kartike, oh Kartike, because we have Anu Malik here. And for our panelists, I can say, oh, we love you, panelists. So whether it's Shahrukh, or it's Amir, or any of the other actors. Anu Malik ji, आपने गाना बनाया, सबने सुना. अब मैं गाना बना रही हूँ और आप सुन ही नहीं रहे. ये कोई तरीका हुआ? Thank you to you for being here. Thank you, Veer. Thank you, Ambassador Vadva. Thank you, Rupinder. Wonderful. Could we have all the panelists here, please, for a group photograph? And speaking of iconic, how can this be a photograph that's iconic if we don't have the iconic Jai Surya on stage with us? Who can forget him? 1996 player of the series in the World Cup, the hardest hitting batsman. He would have our hearts in our mouths because when he would open, we'd say, what's going to happen? How's Sachin going to counter this? So please come and join us for a nice photograph, Jayasurya. Thank you so much to the panelists. And now moving on for the next set of awards, the last group of awards, I'd like to invite Mr. Arvind Singh, the Secretary Tourism, to join us here on stage. His Excellency, Mr. Akhatov Dilshad Kamidovich, the Ambassador of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Mr. Vinod Kumar Dugal. No award function in the travel, tourism, hospitality and luxury sector can happen without his participation. He is that extra blessing factor. I'd like to invite Mr. Raktim Das, Chief Growth Officer, TV9 Network, Mr. Balbir Mayal and Jyoti Mayal to present, yes Jyoti, to present the iconic protection of Indian wildlife, natural history and environment award. And the winner of this, the icon of this is none other than Ranjit Singh Ji. Ranjit Singh Ji has not just been a champion for wildlife, he's also educated many people to appreciate all that needs to be done. The kind of efforts that he's made for social impact through the work that he's done is iconic. Indian wildlife, natural history, the environment, safeguarding the country's biodiversity, all the things that have been close to his heart. And now the iconic author and playwright, and the icon is none other than Kishwar Desai. As she comes all elegant and poised, I can almost see why she chose Devika Rani as the subject of her book, which was later a play, because she too has broken many boundaries. Kishwar has been a producer on television. She has been a lady, Kishwar Desai, in English society, where she's been in the House of Lords and hosted all the lords, ladies, presidents, prime ministers, and at the same time has continued to keep her perspective and has worked as an author. She has also done her family proud by bringing the voice of her parents through the Partition Museum and keeping the voice of so many in a significant way through her work and her team's work at the Partition Museum. So I'd like to thank His Excellency Mr. Akhtov Dilshad Kamidovich, Ambassador of the Republic of Uzbekistan, and Mr. Vinod Kumar Dugal for presenting these awards. Thank you so much to our very, very illustrious presenters. And now I would like to invite on stage His Excellency Mr. Rabi Nash, Ambassador, Embassy of the Republic of Lebanon, and Mr. Ashwini Lohani, who is the CEO of GMR. He has been the revolutionary who changed the face of aviation, railways in our country, but he's one to never stop. So the continuation and the constant challenge seeking is something that he thrives on. And the award that they're going to present is the Adventure of Challenges, and that goes to Ajit Bajaj. Padma Shri Ajit Bajaj is a pioneering figure in the field of adventure tourism. You have organized and led so many high-altitude trips, inspiring many who wouldn't think of rolling out of bed to actually roll over to mountain peaks. Popularized adventure sports in the country and put India on the world map as a premier adventure tourism destination. Thank you, Mr. Ajit Bajaj, for all that you've done. The next category is the iconic dance and culture icon, and that goes to Pratibha Prahlad. Pratibha is the founder of Delhi International Arts Festival. She is a cultural visionary, a choreographer, a performer, author, scholar, arts administrator. I love this word. She has infatigable energy, and her passion, of course, speaks for itself. Thank you, Pratibha. I'd like to thank His Excellency Mr. Rabi Nash, the Ambassador of Lebanon, and Mr. Ashwini Lohani for presenting these awards. Thank you. Well, we'll all have to go to Lebanon to find the ambassador. And now I'd like to invite His Excellency Mr. David Emmanuel Puig Bushell, Ambassador of the Dominican Republic, and Mr. So he's not there, but we do have
तो मेरी जान है जान है जान है देखी मुंह से सीधी बचे हाथ से साली साला आइला उस्मा आएगा पोरी आले आले मैं खिलाई तू अनारी.
So needless to say that the music composer and iconic singer award goes to Anu Malik. Congratulations, Mr. Anu Malik, and may you keep on creating more and more music. I'd like to thank Her Excellency Monica Mota for presenting this award. Thank you, ma'am. And now moving on, I'd like to invite His Excellency Mr. Anil Wadhwa, former Ambassador of India to Rome and many other destinations as well. I think you and Mrs. Wadhwa have worked hand in hand to really take the country's diplomatic service to another level of service. So thank you so much. I'd also like to invite Ms. Naveena Jaffa to present this award. And this icon is the connoisseur and food critic. And Naveena, if you join us quickly, then I can announce the winner of this iconic award is Veer Sanghvi. A Rude Life, a Memoir 2021, Game Changers, Transforming India 2019, The Indian Pantry, Best of Rude Food 2018. One can go on because Veer is not just a prolific writer. Of course, he's been an editor of some of the most coveted publications, but above all, he is a connoisseur of all things great, especially food. So thank you, Veer, for setting such high benchmarks and standards. Moving on, the next iconic award is for reinvention of handlooms and weaves, and the icon for this is Smriti Muraka. We are honored to present you with this award for outstanding contribution to the reinvention of handloom and weave. Your endeavor, Tantuvi, has brought dignity and economic stability to the marginalized Varanasi weavers. You have received the Nari Shakti Puraskar in 2018, and your commitment to preserving the skills of weavers and recreating the fabrics of the past eras has made a significant impact. Thank you for keeping the change connected with yesterday, today and tomorrow. I'd like to thank Ambassador Wadhwa and Naveena Jaffa. Thank you for presenting these awards. And now I'd like to invite His Excellency Mr. Wael Mohammad Awad Hamid, Ambassador of the Arab Republic of Egypt, and Her Excellency Ms. Jacqueline Mukangira, High Commissioner of Rwanda, to join us to present. Well, we have the iconic Artist from the Heart, and this icon is none other than Ranjita Kant. As you walked in, you must have seen her beautiful works exhibited. She has a mastery over colors and textures, be it canvases or installations. She has presented in many exhibitions, some of the most prestigious galleries and museums, both in India and abroad. The next category is the iconic luminary woman, and the award for this goes to Rupinder Barar. Dekho Apna Desh. The film has just been awarded at ITP Berlin because Rupinder is a dynamic leader and a change maker who's made significant effort towards promoting tourism and culture in India. And she has especially come from Bombay just for this. Thank you so much, Rupinder. And now, to present the Lifetime Achievement Iconic Award, I'd like to invite His Excellency Dr. G.M. Chipare, the Ambassador of the Republic of Zimbabwe, And of course, our minister from Sri Lanka. Minister, we're delighted to have you back on stage, Harin Fernando. Thank you so much, Rupinder. And the Lifetime Achievement Award goes to the icon, Nakul Anand. So a man who's carried his team, he's brought new benchmarks for the hospitality sector. Consumer centricity has almost bordered on extra sensitivity to really creating the best of range of services and luxury of a different level altogether. He's created a culture of learning and development and nurtured talent and professionals, and therefore he really is deserving of the Lifetime Award for his remarkable achievements and contributions to the hospitality sector. Thank you, Mr. Anand. Thank you, Excellency. And now for the remembrance categories, because there have been some people who are not with us anymore, but they have left their mark behind. So I would like to announce the Remembrance Life for Society Award, and that goes to the icon Dr. K.K. Agarwal. During the pandemic, he was an icon. People followed his YouTube channel to see how to handle this whole unprecedented situation. And he was absolutely dauntless and unstoppable. Unstoppable to a degree that even when he was not feeling well enough, he went right ahead, giving, 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 until there was nothing left. But today we give him a tribute to remember all that he did. We're privileged to have his family here with us. Thank you for being with us.
That's Veena ji, which is Mr. Agarwal's wife, Dr. Agarwal's wife, and that's his son-in-law, Ankit. I think what he gave to the society, what he taught us while he was preaching us what COVID is, I think there are thousands of people following him and, you know, trying to see how they're going to survive COVID. And with a very heavy heart, when we came to know that he's no more, it was like, you know, there are no words to express it. I just can offer my heartfelt sympathies, condolences. Life needs to move on, yes, but we live in his lovely memories, and I'm sure we'll continue to do that. Thank you, Veena ji. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless. Thank you. God bless. Sorry.
You know, when you think of someone who's gone, there is a sadness. But on this occasion, there isn't a sadness because he gave so many people hope and life. And what good is a life that comes and goes without an impact? He really was someone who made a huge contribution at a time when the whole world was panicking. He gave us an anchor. And that anchor was Dr. K.K. Agarwal. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank all our presenters. And now for our last Remembrance Travel, Tourism and Hospitality Award, I'd like Shri Arvind Singh ji, Shri Vinod Kumar Dugal ji, Mr. Ashwin Lohani, Balbir Mayal and Jyoti Mayal to present this award, remembering someone so sweet, that on my mantelpiece I have a red speaker which he gave me when I compared a session for him at YPO. I'd like to invite Mr. Bhatia, his father and son, father and brother of Ankur Bhatia. May I invite Rajiv to receive this? Rakesh and Rajiv. I once received a phone call from Ankur many decades ago. He said, we are representing Amadeus. Come and do this show. After a while, it was his Masi at City Fort who was doing a wonderful prayer meeting. And again, he called me. By then, we were good friends. He sent me a very fancy car. His driver called up to say, Sir, ये फार्म हाउस में रहते हैं और वहाँ पे बहुत कीचड़ है. आपकी गाड़ी बहुत खास है, मैं लेके नहीं जा रहा. But Ankur said, सवाल ही नहीं उठता. He made sure that the car came to pick me up. Everybody in this room will remember Ankur Bhatia because he was not just a person who worked. He was a person who effortlessly worked his way into your heart. I remember just the day before he went, there was an event that Radhaji had organized. We were online. It was during the peak of the pandemic. Ankur had already battled COVID and was well on his way to recovery. There was no question of this icon of fitness and happiness. You know, when you say to live long, you need to be happy. A body does not age with time. A body ages with grief or experiences that bring you trauma. Well, none of those could be issues that could be found on Ankur because he was just a person who had fountain of joy, joie de vivre, giving, carrying, growing, innovating. That was Ankur Bhatia. Remembering him today and always, I follow Smriti on her Instagram page. And the way she keeps him alive with all of us, it really feels like Ankur's going to pick up the phone again and call up and say, let's do something together. Thank you all for being with us.
One second. As we have the honor of having Mr.
Sanat Jaisurya, the iconic receiver of a token at the Iconic Awards. He is Mr. Balbir Bayal's icon. He's a Sri Lanka tourism ambassador. And by the way, he's been a member of parliament as well in Sri Lanka. So really, if we look, you'll have to do a pirouette for us because you're a 360-degree person, from a politician, a sports person, and a national icon, a national treasure. And of course, the ambassador of Sri Lanka tourism. Thank you so much. And as we conclude this evening, I'm going to hand over to Jyoti Mayal. But to say thank you to everyone. And TV9 Network, thank you for this wonderful partnership. Redhat Communications, thank you for yet another edition of Iconic Awards. And Jyoti Mayal, what an amazing team. Abha Dayal, I see you in the audience, and all the rest of your wonderful team. Please, if you could acknowledge all the contributors to making this evening a success.
Yeah, we thank you so much, everyone, each one of you. Each one of you here sitting is an icon by himself or herself. And we are very privileged to have you all here. So when someone asks me, where do I sit? I said, it's a house full of icons. Please take your seats wherever. So I think I'm sorry that everyone is sitting like that. But thank you once again. Thank you all the people who've supported us, TV9, ET World, Outlook, and of course all the supporters of the travel tourism industry, all the ambassadors, everyone, each one of you. And let's enjoy the evening. The evening is still young. Let's enjoy, have our drinks and dinner. Thank you so much. God bless. Bye.
You were so right about the icons. I see Mr. Kachru. I see a lady who brought movies like Bandit Queen on the 4. I see so many people. We need to have more interactions. So for that, I request you to join us over dinner. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and thank you for being with us for the Iconic Awards 2023. This is Shivani Wazir Pasreech signing off for the evening. Thank you for being with us.
Now that you've signed off, Shivani, thank you so much for being a wonderful MC.
You've never traveled. Every dress, you've never worn. Every breath you've never taken. Every story you've never heard. Every thrill you've never had. Every dish you've never tasted. Every beat you've never felt. Every welcome.
For all our awardees, your boxes for the awards are on your way out, but please don't leave right now. Enjoy.